welcome to this week's America with an Accent. We started with Silent Night performed by the brass group of Lord of Love Lutheran Church here in Omaha. Tonight is Christmas Eve, and we will celebrate the holiday with two special interviews and a short musical segment. As a person who grew up under communism, when religion was considered the opium of the people and as such banned, I had never heard of the Bible until I was about 17. Although my knowledge on religion has since improved, I still was surprised the first time I heard of a woman pastor. She is Reverend Rebecca Sells, the pastor of Lord of Love Lutheran Church here in Omaha. I sat down with Pastor Becky, as she prefers to be called, who told me about her journey as a part of the priesthood of believers.
I am Pastor Becky, and I serve a church here in Omaha, Nebraska, Lord of Love Lutheran Church. And I've been there for about 2 years and about 8 years as a pastor. So I also have a husband who's also a pastor, and we have 2 children at home too, so a 3 and a 5-year-old.
All right, that's great. Now, how do you become a pastor in your religion? How long does it take? And being that for both genders, female and male.
Sure. Well, that is changing too. I am a pastor in the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America, and when I was going through school, it was the normal route in which you had to have a bachelor's degree in something from college, and then you go on, and there were 3 years of on-site where you did a lot of classes and the like, and then there was also an interview with a candidacy committee to talk about your call, because it has to be something that's from inside of you, where you feel God is calling you, and also something that is recognized by people outside of your call. So we had 3 years like that, and then we had 1 year as an intern somewhere in another congregation to get a feel for what it was like.
So you have to have a college degree or some college education before you can apply to be
Yes, you had to have a bachelor's.
Oh, you do.
So.
And that shouldn't be just in theology or related to religion,
No,
is that right?
mine was elementary education.
Okay,
So.
all right. And I believe the procedures are the same. There is no gender.
Correct.
Okay. Does your religion put condition on marriage and childbirth? Let's say, I understand that you're married and
Yes.
you have kids, but let's say you need to be a pastor before you decide to start your own family. Is there any condition of that sort?
No, it's as long as you are living a life worthy of the gospel, it's considered to be just fine to be married or to have kids, just like anybody else.
And what is the highest rank in the hierarchy in your church?
Okay, well, in the ELCA, we don't really have a hierarchy, so to speak. We believe that the highest rank one can receive is a baptized member as a child of God. And so from there, what happens is people can elect, and then you might be elected to higher leadership positions where maybe you have more influence, but it's still not that high of a rank. Currently, actually, there is a woman who is the presiding ELCA Bishop of America, and her name's Elizabeth Eaton.
And where is the headquarters of your church?
Chicago.
Chicago.
The headquarters.
Not too far.
No.
Not too far from here. All right. Now, I would like to cover another topic, the decision to become a clergy person. And when did you make the decision to become a religion or a clergy person?
To be a pastor was something that took me a while to work my way into. Church was something I was always passionate about, so was serving, but I was a little uncertain when I first started about if women really could take the role of being pastor. And that was probably because of where I grew up and where I was. It was kind of, we didn't see a whole lot of female pastors. We saw a few, but when one came to interview at my church when I was younger, I was 12 at the time, my congregation decided not to call her. And when I asked why, because I didn't see a problem, they're like, well, she's going to be out in the country by herself, and we don't really want her to be alone. And so I just felt like there was this little barrier maybe up about a woman being a pastor. So I wasn't sure about that. I wasn't sure about going on for more education when I was already serving people. I was a youth and family ministry director before I ever went to seminary. And that brought my call along, because I was starting off with youth, and then I was meeting with their parents, and then I was meeting with the grandparents, and I realized I'm already serving the full family. It's time for me to maybe go on and get some more education and take the next step to be a pastor.
I understand that it's the service, but was there a specific moment that you really felt the calling of God to become a pastor in your youth service?
Well, one of the holdups I had was I wasn't sure if I could actually do a funeral for somebody else. But when my dad passed away and I got up and spoke at his funeral, I said, okay, if I can speak at my own dad's funeral, I could do this for somebody else.
And what was the reaction of your friends and family, of your circle, when you said that, you know what, I would like to become a pastor? Was there support?
Yeah, I think so. I think there was some surprise, but a lot of people knew me, and it just kind of seemed like a natural progression I was leading in. So it was okay.
Right. And how do you balance between church and family? It seems like you have a full schedule.
Yeah, it's very busy, and especially at the holidays where people usually spend more time with their family. My family actually suffers a little bit on that. But I figure if God has truly called me to be a pastor and he's called me to be a mother, then there's a way that this is all going to work, and trust in the balance.
You said, I would like now to cover a little bit of the general practice. You said that there was a moment when you were very young that the acceptance of a woman pastor was not that welcomed in your community. How about now? Do they accept you? How can you tell us a little bit more about that? To me, Pastor Becky, I didn't know about Bible until I was 17. I grew up under communism. So just learning about different religions, it's wow. And then meeting a woman pastor is something totally new. So, and it's not just me that was surprised. Your community at first had a little bit of resistance to the role of a woman pastor. How about now?
Sure. I would say now, especially where I'm at, I'm not the first female pastor they've had. They've had several, so me being a woman pastor is not something surprising for them. But there are places where I have gone where I have been the first woman pastor in that area. And they'll even say, some of the guys would, you know, I'd really prefer a male pastor because that's what I've always had. And so they'll say things like that, but they're like, but you're okay.
Do they tell you why do they have that reaction? Is the stereotype, is the way you speak, or your voice is not convincing enough, or what's the resistance?
I think it's just a change in tradition of what has always been, is always something that people struggle with. And so as females, that is something that happens too. I know there are colleagues who have had horrendous things said to them that you wouldn't expect anybody to say to a male pastor, such as, wow, you're looking good today, pastor, or something like that. So there is some of that happens, but we are changing slowly but surely.
And you're pretty comfortable in your new congregation?
Yes, I absolutely love it.
How big is your congregation right now, your church?
Our average worship attendance is about 138 a week, and then we have probably about 325 baptized members.
Is that an average size, or when you compare with other churches in the area?
I think ours might be a little bit on the smaller side when we're looking around the area, but for the most part, I would say that's pretty normal for a one-pastor church.
And you're not the first woman pastor in your current church, is that right?
Correct.
You're the second?
They've actually had a couple before me.
A couple. So you are well accepted
yes.
in the congregation.
Yes.
Now, Pastor Becky, I would like to ask you something that me as a person has always made me wonder. Do you offer confession sessions at your church?
Yes. If anybody would wish to come in for individual confession, they'd be more than welcome to do so. And what that would be is just sitting down with me and having a moment to confess their sins and to hear the words of God pronounced over them that all their sins are forgiven.
And I see in your, I don't know you for long, but from your description, I see that you were educated to be a teacher, and you were a mother, and now you are a woman pastor. You're a pastor. How do you, and I see in you the role of listening and guiding, but on a human perspective, how can you handle the burden of confession?
Well, I look at it as just something that God has called me to do. It is my point in life is to make sure that everyone knows about the presence of God in every single moment. And God promises to forgive all our sins, and we all need to hear that spoken to us. So maybe that is a burden I have to handle sometimes, because sometimes the confession can be great, but we all have something that we have to confess that we would wish other people not to hear. And so I just see that as another role.
So do you go through a cleansing process within yourself, a reflection after you have that secret? How do you distance yourself from the confession or from the secret? How do you manage to come back and be able to listen to another secret?
Well, I think prayer is a great way that helps me as well, to focus on what is this about. It's about the love of God, and how do we share that? So.
All right. So you're able to forgive and move
Yes.
on. And you said that you confess that sometimes it is hard to let go of those confessions, right?
Sure.
Okay. We're all humans, aren't we?
Sure.
And since it is Christmas time, can you please share and confess with us what is your favorite part of our passage from the Bible?
I have so many favorite. It kind of depends on the moment, but I guess the heart of the gospel for me really comes from John 3:16 and 17, where God so loved the world that he gave his only son, so that ever who believe in him may not perish but live. And then the next one is just like that. He didn't send the son to condemn the world, but so that the world could be saved through him.
That's nice. What would be your message at this Christmas time to the viewers of our program?
It's about love coming down to us and the gift of God's grace being a light to all people who live in darkness.
Thank you, Pastor Becky. And I was at your church last Sunday, and I really like the greetings at the end of the sermon or the mass. Everybody got up and shook hands, and they greeted each other. Peace be with you.
Yes.
I thought that was very, very peaceful, I would say, and honest.
Yes, brothers and sisters in Christ.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Becky, for being here today.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
When we hear or mention the country of Syria, by default, we think about the struggles of that nation and Islam. In fact, Syria is very diverse. With at least 10 religious groups, Christians count for 11% of little over 18 million people of Syria. The couple, Hadil Abdul and Wile Bahwawsi, are Orthodox Christian Syrians here in Omaha.
Yeah, this is Jacob, our little son.
Hi, Jacob.
Jacob, say hi.
Jacob, say hi.
He's busy just watching.
Okay.
Okay. You belong to
we
which church?
are a Syriac Orthodox. So it's one of the ancient churches, and we were the first group believe in Jesus by Antioch. So and we are like Aramaic. So, and we're talking Aramaic language, and it's the Jesus language. So it's so ancient and holy language, and we are so proud of it.
Yep.
And so our church, it's called the Syriac Orthodox Church. Unfortunately, we don't have a Syriac Orthodox Church here in Omaha, so we're attending the Greek Orthodox Church, and it's so close.
How is to be living in the same city with people of different religion? I just want to know, was it peaceful to live in your city?
To be honest, it depends on the city, depend on the country, and how you been grown up, and you live with the people with them peaceful, because we do not care about religion when it's coming to relationship. It's all the matter personality. So how they are being a friend. If they are good, yeah, they are most welcome. And even we share like a celebration between each other. We don't have any problem, and we exchange visit. And I have I have too many friends Muslim back in Syria, even here. We don't have a problem as different religion.
Yeah,
it's
it's
the
not
matter.
our consideration.
No, it's all the matter is personality. You know what? It's all about. We don't care what's religion, what's color, where you coming from. It's all the matter of personality.
All right, that's nice.
Yeah.
Let's move to Omaha. How big is Syrian community here in Omaha?
Well, let's say it's not that big. Like so, our relationship, it's not just with the Syrian people, with the Middle Eastern, like in general. So let's say because we're all talking the same language, we're all sharing the same culture. So that's why like most of like our relationships, it's with Middle Eastern though. And as we talked before, like most of our friends are we're all mixed between Christian and Muslim, and we're all kind of one family here. So we don't count as all for religion.
And I need to add something too. It's not like, we just have friend from Middle East. No, we have American families as our friend. We have a family from Kosovo as a friend. And we know a family from Albania too as a friend. So it's not as the matter as, it's friend to friend.
What is a tradition? How do you celebrate Christmas? Is it different from the way Christmas is celebrated here in the United States?
There is a little bit of difference, okay, but in a common, it's like, we do decoration, we decorate the house, and we do the Christmas tree, and of course, the most likely, what I like about the Christmas back there is, I remember my dad used to have us to go to church first, and after the church is done, he's gonna take us to his oldest brother, which is my oldest uncle, and we exchange. We go back there, and they pass candy around. And in my time, we didn't have any present at that time, so they were passing money for the kids, not for everybody, just like for the kids.
We're lucky though,
yeah,
having cash.
yeah. So we were kind of like after that, it's been from the day the Christmas till a New Year, it's just like exchange visit between a friend, family member, relatives, and we just go back and forth and celebrate during that 7 days.
On 80s, we start having we call it Papa Noel, which is Santa Claus. So we were having a Papa Noel coming on a New Year Eve. So we didn't have a Santa on Christmas Eve as here.
Let's stay right there. Which one was more celebrated, Christmas or New Year's back then? And how about now?
Yeah, so Christmas, it's all about going to the church, then exchanging visits. But the main celebration, it's the New Year Eve, because it's it used to be as a big party, dancing, exchanging gifts for sure, and staying till early mornings, just dancing and having fun. And
the New Year is most celebrated because all people celebrate. It's got nothing to do with the Christianity, because
exactly.
Muslim they celebrate, and all together. Why? Because it's just like it's the end of the year. But Christmas is like specifically it's for Christian. So
Yeah.
You have two brothers
yeah,
here, is
yeah,
that right?
yeah.
Do you
So
keep
yeah,
the tradition to
yeah,
take
we
your
keep it
kids?
tradition, and but depend on the lifestyle here is totally different. It's not like back there. So sometimes if you off that day, yeah, we take him. Sometimes if you're working, it's lifestyle totally involved in this. But yes, I do. I take them and we exchange the visit, change the gift, and sometimes they come in and having dinner with us here, or we go have a dinner with them. Yeah. So I'm trying to do my best. Yeah, and deliver to my kids, and just like kind of like let everything as before.
Yeah, because we celebrate Christmas here at its usual here, which is the Christmas Eve and Santa coming in Christmas Eve, and in the Christmas morning we open all the presents though. Jake. Sure, like on Christmas it's always about making, let's say, a roast beef. It should be like a big piece of meat. So usually we do lamb, like, so let's say like maybe a leg of lamb or like a roast beef, and it should be like rice on the side and like other appetizers. So, but the main meal, it should be like the leg of lamb or the roast beef. And for sure we do the stuffed grape leaves, and we do there is other traditional, we do the kibbe, and it's kind of meatballs, it's a fried meatballs. And so a lot of like Middle Eastern food.
And dessert? Baklava.
For sure,
baklava.
yeah, we do the baklava, we do the knafe, we do
Klicha.
ma'moul and klicha. So they are kind of cookies, but they are like Mediterranean cookies, all stuffed with pistachio or walnut. And we do serve on, so let's say after Christmas, after going to the church, and then you're going to exchange visits, so we serve a liquor with the Jordan almonds. And the liquor my mom used to make at home, and it's kind of a mix between the scotch and the sour cherries. Then we serve them on a shot glasses, just with a kind of like Merry Christmas, like with the Jordan almonds. So this is how it used to be. Unfortunately now, like, no one making we call it ambariya, no one making ambariya anymore. So we're just having like Irish cream or something, just like shots or liquor, just like to feel like we're celebrating Christmas as back home though.
You give her like the best topic question here. Here's the menu. So it's gonna go on, and it will not be enough. Yeah.
All right. Well, how do you say Merry Christmas in your language?
Okay, so because we are Aramaic, so we said in Aramaic we said Eido Bricho. That's mean like
Eid
holiday for you. And in Arabic we said Kil Sene wa Intum Salmin. That's mean like we wish you every year to be happy. So in too many different languages, but usually we say Eido Bricho or Kil Sene wa Intum Salmin. Eido Bricho.
Eido Bricho.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is the Aramaic.
The Aramaic language.
And in Arabic we said Kil Sene wa Intum Salmin. That's mean like we wish you every year to be happy.
I'm gonna say that in Albanian.
Okay.
Okay.
Gëzuar Krishtlindjet.
Oh.
Okay. That's hard. Tough on me.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you guys too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now, letters to Andy. Dear Andy, greetings from Omaha. Christmas is finally here. Cheers and joy and prayers and family and shopping and giving make for an unforgettable time of the year. In fact, I love fall and early winter in the United States. I call it the season of crescendo joy. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Christmas, although a religious holiday, is more of an occasion for all to celebrate life, God, or what they love, appreciate family, show generosity. There is something magic about this time of the year, and even though some may say it sounds naive, it does give you hope for a brighter tomorrow. I now invite you to enjoy the magic of the season through the music of the brass and bells groups of the Lord of Love Lutheran Church here in Omaha. But before I let you do so, I would like to finish this correspondence with a wish that all members of Lord of Love wished upon each other at the end of a prayer on a recent Sunday Mass. Peace be with you and yours. Till next time, Enkela. This was America with an Accent for this week. Hope to see you again next Monday here on KPAO or online at newamericansmedia.com, our Facebook page, and NAM YouTube channel. From all of us here at America with an Accent, New Americans Media, and KPAO TV, Merry Christmas.